Wow.
And then it says,
Oh, can we keep talking? You need a mic check. Check 1, 2, 3.
agree. I mean, you've seen a quarterback.
How we doing, guys?
Good, Coach.
In these sessions, do you look more mentally what the guys are picking up than physically over this weekend, basically?
Well, I think you're always trying to evaluate them in everything that they do, how they sit in a meeting, how they walk down the hall, how they eat lunch, and certainly when you get out on the field, even though we're not doing anything really physically, the tempo that we're using is very similar to what we do in the mornings out of training camp. We call it team on the grass tempo. You do get a chance to see how they move around a little bit, but I think maybe more than anything else, just the look that they have, how quickly they pick things up, how coachable they are. These guys are all really, really excited about this opportunity. So there's great energy and juice with them, and hopefully over the course of the last 12 hours, they knock some of the anxiety and nervousness out of themselves and are getting a little bit more comfortable as we go. But you're really evaluating everything, even though it's not a full speed tempo.
How often do you think back to your first moments in an NFL camp on a day like today?
I think it's important to remind yourself of that because it is the first time they've come into an NFL locker room, and they get there and their name's over the locker, and their name is on the back of the helmet or on the notebook, or they have a jersey, and those are big moments for people. I don't care when you were drafted, if you're a college free agent. These guys have been thinking about this for a long, long time. So I do think you have to be mindful of that. I do think in a setting where it's just rookies, it's a little bit less intimidating to them. You come into a locker room and you see all these Pro Bowlers, these veteran guys around, all of a sudden, maybe it's a little bit of a different feeling. So we are trying to orient them. That's what it is. It's a rookie orientation. And I do think that allows the transition to happen maybe a little bit more smoothly for these guys. They can get a little information under their belt. But there's no question you reflect back on those things, and hopefully you try to have some understanding of that, when you're coaching them.
What do you really try to impress upon them that first day when it's obviously a big day, they've gotten the nerves going, they're anxious, it's kind of like the first day of school. What sort of message do you try to drive home with those guys?
Well, it's a great opportunity, an opportunity that they've earned. A lot of people have been involved in this in their lives, whether it's a mom or dad, older brother, a coach, a teacher, aunt, uncle, a grandparent, somebody has had a big influence, and probably in many cases, a lot of people have had a big influence. But ultimately, these guys have earned this opportunity to do something that they probably dreamed about since they were 8 years old. And not many people can say that in life. So I think it's important to recognize that opportunity, and everything that you do should reflect the appreciation for that opportunity. So we try to impress upon them that idea, the idea that they've earned a great opportunity for themselves, and now it's time to take advantage of it. So it starts there. The rest of it really is about the expectations, what they can expect from us as coaches and what we expect from them, and really what we're looking for. Ultimately, we're going to have 90 guys in our team. We're going to try to get down to 53, and we got to decide how we're going to pick them. And we think it's important as a coaching staff to make sure we're abundantly clear with everybody what we're looking for each and every day. And to say that right at the outset, I think is important for these guys. Now they know, what they need to do to achieve this goal that they have. So we try to be really clear, crystal clear with all those ideas, and then we get to work. We try to teach them the specific position skills, the scheme that they're going to be required to do, and there's a lot of information that goes with that too. But we start in a big picture, and then we get closer and closer and closer and whittle it down to what they need to do each day.
Over time, you always stress the history of this franchise and some of the great players that have been through. With that in mind, what does it mean that Larry Allen Jr. is here, and what do you remember him from on the sidelines, in the locker rooms, just when he was a kid around with his father?
Well, you said it. His dad is arguably one of the greatest players in the history of the National Football League, among the best offensive linemen ever to play, and certainly among the best players ever to play in this organization. So I was fortunate to play with Larry for 6, 7, 8 years, and he's just a great football player and a great man. And we were fortunate to have him here. And, young Larry, we got to know him when he was young. We actually tried to recruit him to go to Princeton. He chose Harvard instead. But he was a really accomplished football player and accomplished young man, throughout high school. And we all knew about him and followed his career. And I had a great visit with his coach, Tim Murphy, about him, right around draft time, and he just endorsed him, to the highest, both as a player, a guy who could be a candidate to make our football team, but maybe more importantly as a person. Larry was raised well. He was raised around football, but also was raised in a real well-rounded way. And he has a lot to offer as a person. And I think he's excited about this opportunity. And it's really fun for us to have him here.
When you were showing the players the touchstone, did you point out Larry Allen Sr. on the Pro Bowl wall, or are you trying to avoid some of that so that...
Yeah, Larry Allen Jr. is here because he's a really good football player. That's why he's here. And like I said, I've known about him since high school and, followed his career through college, and he's a good football player. And so there's no question it's a great story, and we have so much admiration for his dad and for his family. But as much as anything else, we're just going to try to evaluate him as Larry Allen Jr., and see what he does. And his approach the first 24 hours have been outstanding. We're excited to see more of him.
That being said, is it a little strange being out there giving him tips after having played with his dad?
Well, time goes by quickly. There's no question about that. But again, it's exciting for all of us. It's exciting for all these guys to come in. And I keep saying this, but, this is what they've dreamed about since they were young. And they wouldn't be here if they didn't. And so it's our responsibility as coaches to make sure we coach them as hard and as well as we can to bring the best out in them, to make this opportunity a great one for them as we go forward. And, we're trying to build a team we're all proud to be a part of. And these guys have an opportunity to be a part of that. So it's a fun and exciting day for all of us.
What are you telling Kellen on a week like this? And what does this mean for his role as becoming that offensive coordinator?
Kellen's done a great job, all the way through the process. We've done a lot of football, as a staff with Kellen for the last few months, and he's done an outstanding job with our veteran players here the last month or so. And it's another opportunity for all of us to grow as coaches, individually and collectively. And so it's an opportunity in a meeting room, out on the practice field, to get better. And we try to do that. And again, when you're talking about a coaching staff, a lot of it's about you individually, but a lot of it's about us together. How we're saying it, how we're teaching this, making sure we're all on the same page so we convey a really clean message to the players. So, whenever you have new staff members or staff members in different roles, you have to keep reaffirming that. And I've heard a lot of coaches through the years say, that's like practice coaching, and maybe saying that in a disparaging way. We don't. We embrace every opportunity we have, and we have to continue to practice to get better at everything we do.
You've had a couple of rookie classes now as head coach. Is there a singular rookie moment that's stood out for you over the years, like a particular player that there was a story on his first day at school, so to speak, that stood out for you that you've shared with your team?
I don't know that there's a singular moment. What I was thinking about today driving in was Dak Prescott's rookie year. And if you remember, Dak played a lot of his college career in the shotgun, and we were going to be under center. And it was early on in a run drill, early on in his first practice, and he wasn't doing a very good job getting the snap and getting away to get the ball deep to the runner. And I got on him a little bit. I said, "What are you doing? You got to get the ball back to this guy." And I kind of explained to him that I had to put mental weight on one foot and really push and drive back. And he was kind of looking at me like I didn't know how he was taking it. But it was amazing how he processed the information and how on the next rep it got better. The next rep after that got better. And by the end of practice, the thing that was a concern at the outset was like no longer a concern. And I kind of walked off the field saying, this kid's really interesting. Just the approach that he takes and how serious he was and how coachable he was to get better. And that's the way he's been ever since.
Tristan Hill, what kind of impression or has he left on you now that you've been around him in this setting a little bit?
Yeah, we haven't been around him much. Still we're just a day into this. But certainly an impressive young man, and that's one of the reasons we drafted him. We got to know him through the whole process. He's very likable. He's got great enthusiasm for life and for football. So it was good to see him out there. But he's like all of them. We're trying to get to know him, and they're trying to get to know what we want in every opportunity that we have together.
How would you describe a prototypical under tackle in this defense?
Oh, I think the word that jumps out to me is explosive, disruptive. They come in all shapes and sizes. The really good ones have great quickness. They're strong, they're powerful, and they continue to disrupt both in the run game and the pass game. If you picture a guy like Warren Sapp, maybe the best one that Coach Marinelli's had during his time in Tampa. If you go back and watch those tapes, I mean, he's just off the ball quicker than everybody and through the offensive line and just, raising hell and causing havoc for the opposing team. And that's really what you're looking for from this position. You have to be disciplined. You have to play the defense. It's not just, recess and a playground. But having some of those physical traits make a real difference.
As a staff through the offseason and going forward, how much of a priority is it to try to ease the workload on Zeke a little bit or find these couple of guys who can help spell him maybe more than that happened last year?
Yeah, Zeke's a great football player. And one of the things that we love about Zeke is that he wants opportunities. He loves carrying the ball. Last year I think he caught 77 passes for us. So, his ability to do so many different things puts a lot of pressure on the defense. But, we believe very strongly in attacking different ways and trying to get different guys on each play in a position where they can threaten the defense. And, we like to, in a lot of ways, get other people involved at the running back position. Make no mistake about it, Zeke Elliott's going to be a huge part of what we do. But if we can take a few snaps off of him here and there and be able to put a running back in who we can trust to do some of the things that he's done for us, we certainly want to embrace that opportunity. But he'll be the featured guy in our offense like he has been. He's a great player.
What's the difference between this year and last year? 'Cause last year was about doing more with Zeke and getting him the ball as much as you can, and now it's about trying to limit some of that to a certain extent.
No, I don't know that I'd use the word limit. We want to get Zeke Elliott the
You
ball.
want to spell it more than you did last year, I guess. Did you learn something last year?
Yeah, again, I think we've always valued the second back. The way we use the running backs, they've been very productive for us. I mean, we've had guys who've won the rushing championship a number of times over the last few years, so we value that. And we've had really good backs who've been able to do that. So that's not really going to change for us. But to be able to have a backup that you really like, that you can get the ball to a few different ways, certainly helps the offense and attacks the defenses different ways.
Gary said earlier that Pollard may be a little bit bigger than you might think if you're thinking of sort of a more versatile third down back kind of guys. Do you have that impression of him that he's maybe is a little more imposing?
Well, we got a little bit of the impression at the Senior Bowl. He ran the ball between the tackles a little bit more than he had. So when we drafted him, there wasn't any sense that he wasn't a complete back. We feel like we've seen on tape him do a lot of different things. Run the ball inside, run the ball outside, catch the ball out of the backfield, catch the ball from receiver positions, be a very productive special teams player beyond his just the productivity he's had as a returner. So we feel like he's a versatile guy and someone who can certainly help us.
You mentioned before, these rookies have been conditioning for the draft more so than football, and that's part of the reason why you do these walkthroughs. With OTAs starting in 2 weeks, what do you impress on them that they need to do to be ready for more of a real football practice?
Well, right now they're working with our strength and conditioning staff, and they'll do that for the rest of this afternoon, and we'll do that again tomorrow. So we want to get a jump on that part of it to kind of get their physical foundation underneath them, and then they'll get integrated with our players, our veteran players next week. With our teaching sessions and all of that. So, we'll keep an eye on them, see who's ready for it, see who's not. To me, they all look good, just kind of doing the jog through pace that we've done here today. So no red flags yet. We'll just see how they're handling the physical workload and try to get them acclimated as we go.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, good to see you guys.
Good. I would have laughed at that. Let's just go with the Alpo for now.